Fighting words, words that are likely to incite an imminent breach of the peace, are not categorically protected under the First Amendment's guarantee of free speech. But what about nasty swear words, like the F word, the S word? Are they, in their own context, fighting words, and therefore not protected by the First Amendment? Well, it's an interesting question, and it was addressed in the 1971 U.S. Supreme Court case of Cohen versus California. The majority opinion was written by Justice John Marshall Harlan, and basically, the justices stood up for free speech in it. They said, no, you cannot go after someone just for uttering or displaying a four-letter word that is offensive to you. So Paul Cohen, the petitioner, was convicted under California Penal Code Section 415, saying it's illegal to maliciously and willfully disturb the peace or quiet of any neighborhood or person by offensive conduct. He was sentenced to a whole 30 days in prison, 1 month. He was in the LA County Courthouse in a jacket, and that jacket bore the words F the draft on it with the full F-U-C-K. So this makes its way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Justice Harlan writes for the majority that Cohen's F word on his jacket was not directed to the person of the hearer. It was just on his jacket, and it was expressing sentiment about the draft, very negative sentiment. He says states can, of course, ban fighting words. We get that from cases like Chaplinsky versus New Hampshire. But here, nobody likely to be present could have reasonably regarded the words that were on his jacket as a direct personal insult. It just says F the draft. It doesn't say F you if you are reading this, or F you if you support the draft. No, it's something entirely different. He says there's no evidence that people would strike out physically at whoever just says the F word, just in its own context. The state has no justification for this. He writes some interesting quotes in this case. How is one to distinguish this from any other offensive word? Think about it. Where is the line in the swear words? So maybe the F word is bad, but what about the S word, the B word, the D word, the C word? How do those things square? He writes, quote, surely the state has no right to cleanse public debate to the point where it is grammatically palatable to the most squeamish among us. True. I understand not liking the F word, but we don't have to cleanse public debate so much by punishing people for saying the F word just to appease people who feel squeamish at hearing the F word. He writes, while the F word is more distasteful than most other bad words, one man's vulgarity is another man's lyric. That's right. Some people just love the F word. It is their lyric. The S word too, the B word. Yeah, all those swear words, they're another man's lyric. This is a gold mine for interesting quotes. The Constitution leaves matters of taste and style up to individuals, not the government. So government, but out of people's way in which they express themselves. They can use the F word against the draft. It's okay. They can say they don't like the draft. They can say F the draft, or something in between those two things. But yeah, people don't always need to express themselves in the most mild way possible. You can't ban particular words, he writes, without also running a huge risk of suppressing ideas in the process. That is true. Some words inherently carry some sort of ideas when people utter them. I don't know about the F word, but yeah, you cannot ban certain words, certain individual words, no matter how offensive those words are, or how squeamish, how offensive they are to squeamish people. So yeah, without a particularized and compelling reasons for its actions, the state cannot do this under the First Amendment. So this is a big L for the state of California as they try to censor the F word on this guy's jacket. There is a dissent though. It's written by Justice Harry Blackmun, joined by Justices Berger and Black. And they say, this was not speech. This was not speech. These were words on the guy's jacket. This was conduct. He wore this jacket with those words. And they say also it's in the realm of Chaplinsky. Chaplinsky versus New Hampshire, the case where the guy in the 1940s called an officer a fascist and a racketeer, and the Supreme Court sided with him 9-0. The dissent also notes that Justice Frank Murphy wrote that opinion, and Frank Murphy was a huge defender of free speech. So yeah, they're saying, look, no, we can stand up for free speech while also siding with California on this one. And they say, yeah, agonizing over the First Amendment here is misplaced. Who do you agree with, the dissent or the majority? I think that the majority is correct here. It's a very dangerous proposition to be like, okay, let's just target one word. Let's go after one word. Let's allow states to penalize words that we as a society have deemed so offensive. The word needs more context. If someone says, I'm gonna effing kill you at 9:05 p.m. on Tuesday night, that's a different thing. You know, that's a threat. But just the F word on its own, no, sir. That's no deal. You cannot censor the F word. Feel free to say the F word as much as you like. I don't do it on my channel though, but you can do it. Anyhow, let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope this was helpful to you if you're a law student, if you're studying First Amendment law, you're in undergrad, high school, wherever you're looking up this case or trying to learn more about it. It's a really interesting field of law. I hope you get an A on your First Amendment exam or whatever. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you in my next video.